much of this was for you and how much of this was for the 300-plus employees at Stewart-Haas who don't have a job at the end of the year?
Both. Last week was the most embarrassing race I ever ran in my life, and I told Richard, I said, I don't even want to talk about it. I promise you I will make it up to you next week. And just, man, everybody knows I'm a diehard Tony Stewart fan, and to get this 14 car back in victory lane and, you know, for all 320-something employees to be able to race for a championship in their final year is, man, unbelievable. So, yeah, God is just so good. It's like deja vu there at the end with Kyle with the Xfinity race here in 2020, and I was so loose. I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it, but yeah, just can't thank highpoint.com, Mander Tractors, Rush Truck Centers, Renai, Zepp, just everybody that makes us still go around and go to Atlanta and try to steal another one.
What does it say about you and the entire 14 team that you never, number one, gave up, but never, number two, never quit on each other?
Yeah, it's just this group. I mean, the day that we found out that, you know, the team wasn't going to exist anymore, we went over to the shop floor and we all looked at each other and said, we're in this to the end. We're not going to give up. And we kept saying all week, we got one bullet left in the chamber, and that bullet hit.
Kyle Busch was catching you. Was that the hardest you've driven in your entire life?
Yeah, I was sideways, counter steering, felt like I was in a sprint car. So, yeah, just, this night just literally went perfect. You know, the pit crew did an incredible job, and I was crying. Like, after the checkered, I just won the Southern 500. This is a crown jewel, and what makes this race so special is all you race fans. Every time we come here, it's sold out. It's awesome, and we love you guys. And last time I went here was during COVID, so I didn't get experience with the fans. So grateful that you guys are here, and yeah, can't wait to celebrate.
For a driver who loves the history of racing, this one means a lot on so many levels for Chase Briscoe, now a playoff participant, Dave.
Kyle, your team gave you the fresher rubber. Did you think that'd be enough?
Yeah, I did. When I made it through a few of those guys right there on the start, I thought we'd have a shot to get there, and I think I just needed him to have maybe 3 or 4 more laps, older tires, for me to be able to break through the wake. Once I got within his air, I really didn't have enough to power through that to get closer. I was kind of sliding already. So hate it for our guys, everybody on our team, everybody at RCR, and this Morgan & Morgan Chevrolet. They turned it around the last 4 or 5 weeks, and we've run a lot better, and that's been much improved and beneficial to our team and the organization. So something to build on and get better for. You know, we just missed a lot in the early part of the year and through the middle part of the year to put ourselves in this spot, to be on the outside looking in. So to come in here for a last-ditch effort and have a shot. I mean, early in the race, I wouldn't have thought we had a shot. So felt like we really overachieved there towards the end and got a really good finish for what we had, or what I thought we had. And we'll take it and keep building on it.
It's kind of a tale of 2 seasons, right? Because you had legitimate shots the last month or so.
And Atlanta, yeah. You know, so it's, it's just short, you know, come up short. And, you know, maybe I'm a washed-up old dog, but hopefully I can find a few more trophies.
I think not, but I think you'll be looking for that victory to keep the streak alive in the last 10 races here, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's, you know, I wanted it last week. I wanted it this week. I wanted it in Atlanta. I wanted it in Vegas. You know, there's been a lot of opportunities. Daytona 500, we were up front all day. So I can count them, you know, at least on a hand. Maybe I need 2 hands to count opportunities that have slipped away. So we're achieving right now and getting success from those runs and pulling in the finishes that we need.
It's a good look from the 8 right now. Too bad they couldn't capitalize tonight, guys.
Chris Buescher will come home in the 6th position, a solid finish. Unfortunately, not the day you needed with a new winner. You'll be the first guy outside the playoff picture, will not run for a title. You guys had to overcome so much today. How would you summarize your Southern 500?
Yeah, just, I don't know. We felt like we did what, for the most part, we needed to do today. And, you know, got back in contention there at the end and got a decent finish out of it. And, just didn't quite get it done again, and yeah, now we're on the outside looking in. So fortunately, it's just the system we're all playing in, and you know, we had such a great year. Everyone at RFK's worked so hard. We've been so fast. We've outrun so many of these cars that that are going to get to run for a championship. But that's the system, and we didn't work it right.
When I talked to your crew chief, Scott Graves, earlier today, regardless of what you did in this race, he said he felt like you guys could do some damage in the last 10 races. What is the approach to the final 10, and what are your goals?
Yeah, it's not on my mind yet. Yeah, just had a lot of things figured out, and you know, that's not it now. So get back, digest this one a little bit. Such a shame, but you know, another great run for our BuildSubmarines.com Mustang. Another great finish here at Darlington. Just not enough with a new winner, and yeah, just crazy. So definitely gonna think back on different times throughout the year, and you know, figure out how to do better next time.
How do you sum up the emotion in one word?
It's frustration and disbelief altogether.
The weekend started out so well for Bubba Wallace. That new winner thing caught up with you guys at the end, but there was a little chaos the second half of this race. What was going on?
Yeah, we just got behind on adjustments. We were back and forth on our U.S. Air Force Toyota Camry, just a little too loose, a little too tight, and that caution with a couple laps on tires where we stayed out. I don't know if that was the deciding factor, but we just got so tight there and got back there in traffic and a spot we hadn't been all day, and got caught up in someone else's mess. So unfortunate. I hate it for our guys, but man, hats off to the 14. I thought I did something yesterday. They one-upped us and showed up when it was game time, so that's pretty badass. So congrats to them. Man, just wasn't good enough for 16th this year. Hate that. It stings saying that, but wasn't from a lack of effort from all of us on this 23 car. So best of luck to the 45, and hopefully the Toyota wins.
How do you evaluate overall getting to this point, and especially bringing it like you guys did this weekend?
Nah. Tomorrow's Labor Day, right? So got to sit and dwell on it. Hopefully no meetings, but you got 4 or 5 days to reset and go on to where we go next. I don't even know. Shows how mental this race was. So we'll be fine.
Tyler Reddick comes home in the 10th position, but more importantly, gets the regular season championship by a single point. Before we dive into what that means for the team, it was a heck of a day for you. You were battling some illness in the race car. How in the world did you maintain the focus needed to get that regular season championship?
I don't really know if I did, honestly. Just things fell our way there at the end. Yeah, I don't know. I started the day off feeling really, really good, and just, you know, kind of trying to take my time to get around Bubba, and you know, him and the 5 kind of jumped us on that first cycle, and thought we were, you know, long race. We had plenty of time, plenty capable, and just, man, I mean, by the end of stage 1, I couldn't even really focus on what to tell the guys to do on our Protect Toyota Camry. So it was frustrating, man. We had that buffer over the 5, and I just watched it disappear all day long, and I trying everything I can to drive this car as fast as I can. It was just a real struggle, honestly. I don't have anything left.
Nothing left, but as we look forward to the playoffs, you guys have been so consistent recently, and now you've got 15 additional points in the playoff bank. What does that mean for this team and what they can do during the playoffs?
Yeah, it's huge for us. It's a bummer, man. This has been one of my best tracks, and we had an all-around off night. I hate that. Like I said, I hate we had to use that buffer up that we had coming in here. But I mean, this is what this team's kind of all about. I feel like this is the worst night we've had in months and months, speed-wise. And we still finished 10th, and it was kind of an all-out struggle for us. So just really proud of everybody on this team staying behind me. I couldn't give great feedback, and it was just really, really hard to focus and keep it out of the wall there all night. So shame we gave some points up. You know, I feel like this race we could win, but it's really nice to, in year 2 for me here at this team, and in year 4 of this team, for us to get the regular season championship like we did.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Kyle Larson will come home in the 4th position, had a dominant race car here today, led 263 laps, fell short of the regular season championship, though, by 1 point. As you look back on this race, do you do anything differently that final stage?
I think where it just got a little bit sideways for myself was when Ross stayed out. I wasn't really expecting that. And then, yeah, I chose the bottom, and he did a good job and got clear of me and kind of pinched my air off into 1. And then the 54 was on my right side. And then I was just stalled down the backstretch, and Chase got a great run to get by all of us. So, yeah, I just wish I would have maybe executed the restart zone a little bit better there, and maybe the rest of the race plays out differently. But, you know, I had the points on my mind, you know, knowing how close we were to Reddick and the great day we had going and the kind of average day he had going. I just didn't want to get overly aggressive and take myself out of it too. So bummer that, you know, we came up a point short, but we still, you got the owner's side of it. So that's always good. That's what pays the check at the end of the year. So, but hopefully, you know, I can make it through each round as well as the car. So yeah, just proud of my team, proud of the pit crew today, and proud of the race car.
Despite not winning the regular season championship, as things are reseeded for the playoffs, you are the #1 seed with the most bonus points. What does that mean for you guys, especially as you work your way through the first round, which is kind of a wild card?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, you work hard all year long to get stage wins, get race wins, to position yourself well in the playoffs, to, you know, not necessarily allow yourself a mistake, but, you know, I think we're 35 points above the cut line right now. So that's nice. I mean, especially when you go to a track as scary as Atlanta, but that could be wiped out, you know, in an instant. I could be below the cut line after Atlanta. That's just kind of the craziness of the system. So, yeah, just keep doing what we've been doing. You know, our car's been really fast, and our team's been executing great. So just keep it up, and hopefully we can advance on through.
Should be fun to watch Kyle Larson and this 5 team go for their 2nd Cup Series title.
Plus 12 at the end of the day for Ty Gibbs. And after what happened late in the race there, can you believe it?
Not really. I was really unfortunate, or really confused on why we just tried to get wrecked in 3 or 4, and then went and got plugged in the wall in 1. So I don't know, you know, what was going on with the people I was racing around. It was unfortunate. You know, I'm just upset right now. I wish we could have ran better. I really love this track and have so much fun racing here. Our car was so good. Wish we could have finished better, but most importantly, we made the playoffs, and that's what we came here to do, and we accomplished that. So, you know, I'm very happy to be able to make it, and we'll go see what we can do in 10 weeks.
I was going to say, based on what you know, inside and out with the 54 team, how deep a run can this team make?
We'll see. We got to get through next week first. So Atlanta is a tough one, but I feel like we're really strong in the races for the rest of the season, and we'll see what we can do and go out there and give it our best shot.
Out of the 10, got a couple circled that you like best?
I'd love to win at all of them.
Fair answer. Ty Gibbs in the playoffs. So the playoffs are a no for Ross Chastain by 33 points, but it wasn't for not trying, and especially that strategy at the end, the staying out strategy. Was that the watermelon call? Almost worked?
Yeah, 9-lap old tires and staying out at Darlington, that's pretty scary, but no, it was the right call, and it was the call for the cards we had to try to get a good restart, and I got a great launch. I can't even usually get that good of launches for our Busch Chevy when I have equal tires, Dave. Right. So to get that, clear into 1, clear off of 2, I was like, okay, this is going okay, and then turn 3, they all blew by. So ultimately, it kept us out of that big crash. It kept us in a spot to pit from 4th, or right there behind the 8. And pit with those guys and set ourselves up for a good shot. You know, for the speed and the balance we had early in the race, we definitely made it better. And it's kind of our motto. We just tend to make our cars better. We want to show up to these weekends a little bit better.
Well, and how do you take the next 10 weekends then? Because obviously it's a couple of things. It's trying to get the W's and it's preparation for next year. How do you approach it yourself?
I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I get out of the car and I watch the 14 celebrate and let that sink in and hurt, because it is disappointing and it does hurt. And I look down the line and look at the playoff cards and just take some mental images of that and let that fuel some fire inside of me and inside of our team and how we keep going, because it does hurt, but a little hurt's good every now and then. And not that I want to be out of the playoffs, but we don't stop, and I do it my own way, and I'm not too down about it. I'm not happy about it by any means, but for Trackhouse and our group, we'll wake up tomorrow, the sun will come up tomorrow, and we will go to Watkins Glen.
Christopher Bell comes home in the 3rd position tonight, but we kick off the playoffs next week. Summarize your and the 20 teams' regular season and what the strengths were headed into the playoffs.
Well, the regular season was just like mountains. It was the tallest of tall and then all the way to the bottom there. So got to clean that up. Got to get a little bit more consistency. But the strengths is obviously the car speed and the potential in our team. So I feel like everywhere we go, we're a contender. We can be a contender if everyone does their jobs. So if we can eliminate our lows, I think we've got everything we need to go for a title run here.
Denny Hamlin comes home in the 7th position, but as we look at the next 10 races, what do you feel like you and the team need to overcome in order to take home your first title?
Not a whole lot, really. Just got to execute races and, just win. I think that's the key in the playoffs is winning, so you don't kind of put yourself in a bad point position. With kind of some of the crazy tracks that we've got in the playoffs this year, it's going to try to avoid those, 25th or worse place finishes. That's going to be the key for us.
11th tonight for Chase Elliott. This Southern 500, how would you describe it?
Very poor. I think we got a gift, to finish where we did. A bunch of gifts, but yeah, obviously excited to have that one over with, and looking forward to getting the playoffs started. These next 10 are they're intense, So we're gonna have to, myself and our entire Napa team, we're going to hit the reset button in a big way, because tonight was pretty bad, truthfully. So yeah, go to Atlanta and try to get things rolling in the right direction and see where we end up.
There's no track like this, so is the reset on all tracks or certain ones? What do you think?
Well, just glad we're not coming back here next week for sure. So, man, I gotta figure something out here. It's been a struggle, but nonetheless, excited to get these next 10 started. There are some good tracks in there for us, so I'm excited to get to those and try to make the most of the ones that are places that we've struggled at. You got to figure out how to get over those humps at some point, and I would love to tackle that this year. So we're going to work really hard these next 10 and try to bring everything we got, and hopefully it'll be enough when it's all said and done.
Going for championship number 2.
For Daniel Suarez, it was the Atlanta win earlier this season that got him locked into the playoffs, and the playoffs kickoff at Atlanta. So how optimistic are you and the team headed into next week?
Very optimistic. Obviously starting the playoffs in Atlanta is always pretty sweet, but in reality, the 99 team has got some good things going our way the last couple months. We have built some good energy, some good momentum. We have had a good streak of top 10s, good speed in some racetrack. We just continue to get better. So I'm very excited to see what we can do over the first round. We have Atlanta, which is a hybrid, no mile and a half, no a super speedway, and then we have a road course. So the first couple of rounds are a little crazy. So I think if we execute, we clean a couple of things, we're going to have a pretty good shot at it.
As you heard Daniel say, this team continuing to build. Oh, by the way, he finished the Southern 500, all 500 miles, without a cool suit here tonight.
So Joe Logano studies the board a little bit. I know you'd like to be a little bit higher in the finishing order there. What was going on with your night?
It's just a long one. It's the Southern 500, and I don't know, starting where we were, the goal was just kind of pick them off one or two at a time and, methodically, slowly move our way through the field. And we were doing that, and we got ourselves into the top 10, looking pretty good, and had some issues on pit road. I'm not exactly sure exactly what happened. Yeah, I think we had maybe a cross-threaded nut or something, and couple issues after that. So towards the 2/3 point of the race, we kind of fell apart for a second, but then we cleaned it back up for the end there and got a top 10 out of it at least. So not quite what we wanted with the Shell Pencil Mustang, but at least we recovered and got something decent out of it. And look, I don't want you to get hit. But yeah, we'll move on to the playoffs and give her a run for our money, see if we can get down to the championship 4.
Let's talk a little playoffs from a former champion who I look around, I see some teammates. I know there's another teammate that's not around here right now, crashed out early. I mean, as an organization, you've got strength going in, don't you?
Yeah, it's nice to have all our cars in. Having 4 in there, right? Even with the Wood Brothers car, which we, is pretty much under our roof here. So, yeah, it's nice to have them all in there. But it's game time now, right? This is the time to shine, and the cream always rises to the top through the playoffs. So, got to be able to execute through all these races. Got to go fast through them. The first round is obviously pretty crazy with the racetracks that are involved there. So, it's no smooth ride from here. It's not a simple way of getting there. So, got to be solid here. We don't have a whole bunch of playoff points on our side, but we got a couple. Wish we had 5 more from a couple weeks ago, but we'll fire away and see what we got.
First things first, I had to look down a little bit to find you in the queue tonight. What happened on track?
Yeah, we just missed it for sure. We struggled. Had some opportunities to overcome it, and then had some more issues. So, big bummer. Definitely, it's super frustrating, right, to come here and run that bad. I feel like we struggled in the spring, but we executed really well, and we were able to get out of here with a good finish. And we weren't any better tonight, and we didn't execute very well either. So back to the drawing board for this place for sure, but obviously the 5 was really good, so we'll be able to go back and lean on them and try to be better for when we come back next time.
What about your playoff run starting in Atlanta next week?
Yeah, for sure. We got to get our stuff together. It's been a rough month, so excited for the Ally 48 team to be back in the playoffs, but at the same time, we have a long way to go after how we performed for the last month. So Atlanta kind of is probably going to be pretty wild, right? But the rest of it, Atlanta too, we got to be on our A game for all of it. So just got to go execute.
Austin Cindric is in the playoffs, and I'm sure looking forward to it. Atlanta starting next week. What's your playoff look as the 2-car goes forward?
I mean, I feel like we're playing with house money, man. I mean, it's an awesome opportunity to be in the playoffs, and I think tonight's a perfect example. There's some seriously good cars, teams, and drivers that aren't in it. So being able to sneak some stage points in is going to be huge, but also just not having blow-ups. We had a couple blow-ups tonight, and that put us back, and we had to rally for 500 miles at the toughest racetrack on the schedule to get back to pretty much where we started. But I feel like the first 2 races of the playoffs are 2 races that we can honestly win, with Atlanta and Watkins Glen. So we are capable of doing those things. But still some stuff to clean up. But really excited to do it with the guys. A lot of first-time playoff guys on my team. Put our best foot forward and, have a great time with it.
Were you guys able to, since the win, just kind of band together and work on things that maybe you wouldn't have focused on if you weren't already in the playoffs?
I'll be honest. I feel like that's been my mentality and kind of my narrative with my guys all year. I've told them, even good days and bad, don't be afraid to fail. And that's been my MO since Daytona, the start of the season. And that's worked for us. It hasn't worked for us, but we've learned our own lessons. We've been able to get to this point in the season, obviously with a win, but also I feel like I've learned more as a driver in the last 6 months than I have probably in the last 2 years of racing Cup. So I'm proud of everyone on the team and sticking to the process. But now's the time to absolutely be perfect and execute and do the things that this team's expected to do.
Yeah, that kind of a 6-month progression could take Austin Cindric a long way in the playoffs, guys.
And Harrison Burton comes home in the 21st position. But more importantly, you were part of the playoffs from that win last weekend at Daytona. I said, are you still on a high? You said, nope, Darlington humbled you quickly. Yeah. How do you get into the mindset to go for a title run starting next week?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think you just are in the mindset now, right? As I'm able to stay and do these interviews this year and hang out and talk about my playoff run. So it's really exciting. Thank you, Austin. It's a good teammate right there. But no, I mean, it's really cool. Just, and if this wouldn't get us focused and locked in, I don't know what would. So got an opportunity of a lifetime going into Atlanta. We've got to make the most of it, and just excited to try and do that.
Should be fun to watch Harrison Burton go for his first playoff appearance.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.